Okay, this is a follow-up video I did recently on my Tokarev TT-33s that I have. One of the guns that I have is the WinGun version. And what happened with this, so that everyone knows, is in the video, which I'll put a link for down below, when I was firing it, it would not fire the BBs, and it would not allow the magazine to come out. So what I'm going to show you is, as you can see now, I'm pressing the button and magazine won't come out. You pull the trigger forward, it clicks, magazine will come out. And the same thing happens is when you fire it, you get one BB to come out, and then it will not fire any more BBs after that. Okay, I got the chrono box up here so I can shoot into the chrono box. I don't want to just shoot out and hit something, so I'm just going to shoot into the chrono box here. This is ready to go. It's got a recent, pretty decent CO2 cartridge in here, so let's try this. Okay, 348, nothing, and the mag is held shut. So I completed an RMA, and I am getting ready to send this back to Evike. I have a box that it came in, and I submitted the RMA. Got the box. Gun was going to go in the box, and still has the original sticker on it, so I'm going to take that off and put the RMA sticker on there that they gave me. Next thing, when it rains it pours, I guess. I needed another CO2 gun to use for a upcoming game. I have my M&P 40, which shoots phenomenal and has no issues. I even have a Serpa holster for it, everything for that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the one I was going to use, and I found out it had issues. This is the Crosman C41. Now, this is a non-blowback. Even though this top slide moves, it really doesn't do anything, and it is CO2. What has happened here, and it still fires, what has happened here is when I went to take the CO2 out, on the bottom, right here, is supposed to be a lever. When I went to unscrew it, as you can see there, it snapped off. So trying to get it out, I broke this off, this little lever. So I had to use a pair of pliers on this little bolt that's sticking out there. So I put the new CO2 in, and it leaks like a sieve. So one of the things that someone told me wants to try was Vaseline, which do not do. It gets in the gun, gunks it up, it doesn't work. I thought I'll try a little Pelgun oil on there to see if it'll seal it up better, and it just leaks like a sieve. One of the other things I found on the internet was using plumber's tape, which is this white tape that you wrap around the threads of like a pipe you're threading in. Cut a little square off, strip it over the top of the CO2 cartridge, and put it in. That's about 50% effective. Didn't work in this case. The third thing that I tried was that I have these O-rings, various sizes. So what I did was I got the smallest size, which is right here. Got one of these real small ones, put it on top of the CO2 cartridge along with a little Pelgun oil, put it in the gun, and because the ends broke off it to tighten it up, I used my pliers, tightened it up, and it stopped leaking. Okay, so I have the CO2 card in there, it's holding, but it's going to be impossible to try to get that out of there. So I'm either going to have to come up with a way to manually be able to turn it out, or always carry a pair of pliers with me. I like the ones where you have an Allen screw in the bottom. You can always use an Allen wrench of any kind to get it out. This solution works, but I have a bad feeling that it's going to be a real pain to try to change it out and put another O-ring in there. You could lose it in the field or whatever. So to that note, what originally prompted me to use this gun in the first place was the fact that it's a really good shooting gun. It's a fixed top-up, but has a functional safety on the side. Even though it's not blowback, it's very crisp and shoots very well. It has a 15-round magazine, which when you go to look for them online, they're not available. I've sent mail to Pyramid Air, Crosman. They're not being made, which I find hard to believe because the guns are out there to sell. You can buy the 177 version, the Seal BB version, but buying this 6mm BB version for airsoft, it's out there, but there's no mags for it. So because this is having an issue, I went looking, and I actually found it online at Walmart for $49 and free shipping. And I remember paying over 60 bucks for this when I bought it originally. So I said, well, I'll get another mag out of it, and I'll get another functioning gun that's going to work well. So I'll have 2 mags, and I'll have a functioning gun and one that's like iffy at best. This way I have 2 mags and I have 2 guns. It's not as cost effective as buying a magazine for like 10 or 20 bucks. These were like $12 for the 177 version. It was a single mag for 12 bucks. So buying a mag probably would have been $12, $15. I spent $49. It worked out though, because I was able to get some more CO2 cartridges because I went through quite a few trying to fix this. So it actually made it worth it. But I have 2 guns now that I'm waiting on that I've had fails on CO2. CO2, one of the big things that I'm finding is that if you use a CO2 and take it out, you don't leave it in there for long periods of time, which I tend to do. I don't use CO2 guns that often. I use them during the winter, put them away. They're sitting with CO2 in them all over, for months at a time. That might be an issue. So, might be a good rule of thumb is when you're done with your CO2 for the season or whatever, take the CO2 out, maybe smear a little Pelgun oil on that seal up there, and just leave it that way so that it's good to go. The seal dried out on this, and that's why it was leaking. Maybe the combination of the Pelgun oil and the little rubber grommet in there to seal it better made the difference on this. But the broken thumb screw to take the CO2 cartridge is a negative, and I got to figure out some way to be able to get that out of there without killing myself, unscrewing it with a pair of pliers. I had to actually use a pair of channel locks to grab it and turn it out, which is not really advantageous to carry with you on the field. Okay, what I've done is I thought, well, it's a ring, so let's try and get a ring on there. So I have a vast collection of rings that I use for grenades, various pulls and sizes, from like monstrous to really small. And what I got is I put this twist ring, which seems to fit, and I'm able to turn it in and out on it. Maybe it's hard to see from the video, but it is a small little twist ring, and it's you can get a hand on it and twist, and it does barely move the CO2, which probably is going to be an issue. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to move it with that. I thought I was going to be able to move it, but it does fit inside underneath the handle. Once I get the little rubber cover on it, it should work good on there. I was going to take the CO2 out of here and see how it works, but it's not leaking, so I was going to leave it go. Just put the grip back on there and call it good. I think I'll let it go until I get the other C41 in there, and then see if I can use this thing to unscrew it. At least it'd give you a shot to be able to tighten it up a little bit. Probably still would need a wrench to get it in there, which is going to be not a good thing. So, okay, we're just going to show a little quick shooting here. I've got 2 O's loaded in the C41, 68 feet to the blue circle plastic there. We're going to see how it shoots. And that's it. Drops a little bit. They're like looping into it at 68 feet, but you could hit somebody. Now we're going to try 2 5s. I usually use 2 8s in everything, but let's try these and see how they shoot. Yes. Seems to be a little bit more consistent with 2 5s. If I'm running 2 8s on everything, like my AEG, and I carry this with me, I'll probably run 2 8s in it. I actually went in and got some 2 8s just to try it. We were running a lot out through the CO2 cartridge, so I'm hoping it's going to hold up. And 2 8s. And we're out. 2 8s and 2 5s seem to be more consistent, and it's a pretty good FPS, and it's getting out there. That's 68 feet. In case you want to see, there's the front, and you go all the way back to here at 68 feet. I'm back inside. It is way too cold to be outside shooting today, but I'm giving it a shot. The gun does shoot very well with 2 O's, 2 5s, or 2 8s. As I'm going to be primarily running 2 8s in my AEG when we're using it, or whatever. I'm probably going to be running 2 8s in this as well. And at 68 feet, you were hitting the target. They're starting to drop down. It's a fixed hop-up, so there's really not much you're going to do with it. So it does work decent for 2 8s. The problem with the changing the CO2 is going to be a chore. I'll take a pair of pliers with me when I go to a game, but for now, till I get the new one, be good to go. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll keep you up to date when everything happens. What I get done on the TT-33 and how I make out on the C41. Thanks for watching.